Visual. Dramatic slow reveal of State Route 71 footage silhouette. Voiceover. The State Route 71 Blackbird, a shape cut from the future, a spy plane that outran missiles and redefined what an aircraft could be. Built to fly faster than the speed of sound and higher than most jets, it became the Cold War's most iconic reconnaissance tool. Today we're going inside the Blackbird, how it was built, how it flew, what it saw, and why it still fascinates us. Let's go. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, JK Auto Review, share it with your friends, and subscribe. Development and origins. Visual. Archival photos of Kelly Johnson, Skunk Works, A12. Voiceover. The Blackbird story begins at Lockheed Skunk Works under legendary engineer Clarence Kelly Johnson. In the late 1950s and early 60s, the US needed a plane that could fly high and fast to gather intelligence without being shot down. The CHIA's A12 program and the Air Force's State Route 71 were the answers, cousins in design but separate programs. The State Route 71 refined the A12's ideas into a two-seat, long-range reconnaissance aircraft built to survive the harsh reality of Mach 3 flight. Design and stealth features. Visual. Close-ups of chines flows, skin panels, radar cross-section diagrams. Voiceover. From the outside, the State Route 71 looks like something from a sci-fi film, long, sleek, with chines that run along the fuselage and blended wing surfaces. Those chines were more than style, they improved supersonic lift and stability. The airframe used titanium to survive the tremendous heat generated at sustained Mach 3 flight. Its matte, radar-absorbing paint and angular shaping reduced its radar signature, an early form of stealth. The Blackbird wasn't invisible, but it was hard to find and even harder to hit. Engines and performance. Visual. J58 engine cutaway, exhausts, afterburner shots, speed footage. Voiceover. Power came from two Pratt Whitney J58 engines, amazing pieces of engineering. At high speed they acted partially like ramjets, squeezing and compressing the air ahead of them so the engine could keep breathing at extreme speeds. The State Route 71 routinely cruised above Mach 3, that's 3 times the speed of sound, and at altitudes above 80,000 feet. Because of the extreme heating at those speeds, the Blackbird leaked fuel on the ground. Panels that fit tightly at speed would gap at rest, so it was normal to see fuel dripping during pre-flight. At Mach 3 the airframe heated and expanded, ground crews would refuel it after it cooled down. Sensors, cameras and reconnaissance roll. Visual. Film cameras, side-looking radar, link pods. Voiceover. The SR-71's mission was intelligence. It carried high-resolution optical cameras, side-looking airborne radar, SAR, and electronic intelligence gear to intercept signals. The cameras could photograph huge swaths of terrain from extreme altitudes, while the radar and ELINT packages could map and eavesdrop on enemy installations. Its speed and altitude gave it a unique survivability. If missiles were launched, the Blackbird could simply accelerate and outrun them. Famous missions and operational history. Visual. Mission maps, SR-71 flight routes, footage. Voiceover. From the late 1960s through the early 1990s the State Route 71 served in hotspots around the world, carrying out reconnaissance over areas of strategic interest. Thanks to its speed and altitude, no State Route 71 was ever shot down by enemy fire. Crews sometimes logged flights that covered thousands of miles in just a few hours, in one record, and State Route 71 flew from California to Britain in under 2 hours at high speed. Over time, satellites and other technologies reduced the need for manned overflight, and the Blackbird was gradually retired, but its operational record remains unmatched in many ways. Life on board, cockpit and crew. Visual. Cockpit close-ups, pilot and RSO helmet shots, cockpit displays. Voiceover. The State Route 71 carried a crew of 2, the pilot up front and the reconnaissance systems officer, or RSO, behind. The cockpit felt cramped and specialized. The crew wore partial pressure suits similar to those worn by astronauts to survive the thin air up high. Instrumentation emphasized navigation and sensor management, and missions required careful fuel and thermal management. Takeoffs and landings were critical phases. Once at speed, the Blackbird truly came alive. Retirement and legacy. Visual. Museum Blackbirds, public flybys, NASA SR-71s. Voiceover. The State Route 71 was officially retired from USAF service in the 1990s, though NASA and occasional special flights extended its life for testing. Why retire a legend? A combination of high operating costs, advancing satellite reconnaissance, and changing budgets. But the Blackbird's influence endures. Its design lessons shaped later high-speed aircraft and materials research. You'll still find SR-71s in museums and even occasional testbeds, inspiring engineers and aircraft lovers alike. Fun facts and myths busted. Visual. Quick B-roll snippets. Voiceover fast-paced, a few quick facts. Yes, the SR-71 skin heated to hundreds of degrees at Mach 3. Yes, it leaked fuel on the ground. No, it was never shot down by enemy fire. And no, pilots didn't fly at Mach 3 like in a movie. The aircraft required careful management and special procedures. Also, its paint actually contained chromium to help cool the skin and make it less radar reflective. Outro, CTA. Visual. Slow pullback on Blackbird, channel branding. Voiceover. The State Route 71 Blackbird wasn't just an airplane, it was a technological statement. Speed, altitude, stealthy lines and cutting-edge sensors made it a Cold War icon. If you like this deep dive, hit like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments which aircraft I should cover next. Want a separate video on the A-12, the J58 engine, or State Route 71 cockpit walkthrough? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Fly fast, look sharp. See you next video. JK Auto subscribe.